Hey guys, welcome back to The Composed Artist. I'm your host, Stephanie Gaffney, and today we are kicking off part 2 of my conversation with Heather Wolfe. Last week we heard about her traumatic experience back 13 years ago, almost to the day from when we recorded. And in this part 2 of this conversation, we're going to talk about how that experience has shaped her life and her experience as a live wedding painter. And she's going to share some tips for those who have experienced trauma, who are working through trauma or suffer with anxiety, especially as live wedding painters. So without further ado, let's hear part 2 with Heather Wolfe. Welcome to The Composed Artist, the podcast where we explore the intersection of artistry, entrepreneurship, and self-improvement and continue to pursue a more composed life. I'm your host, Stephanie, an artist specializing in live wedding painting, living in the vibrant and soulful city of New Orleans. Over the past decade, my job has taken me all over the world, meeting and creating art in front of thousands of people, and has allowed me to create a colorful life for myself and my family. Now, I help other artists build confidence, develop their techniques, and fall in love with the art of live wedding painting. I invite you to join us for inspiring stories of creative journeys, practical tips for running a successful art business, and honest conversations about the joys and challenges of running a studio and being a parent. This podcast is here to keep you company, keep you entertained, and is full of resources to help you on your journey to create a business that feeds your soul, makes an impact, and is insanely profitable. The Composed Artist is the podcast for the bold, creative, passionate, and genuine artist. Let's get started. What is your favorite part about the job? Because it is a challenging job. You especially have to overcome, fears like going into the task, but what do you really love about it?
Words of affirmation, 100%.
Me too.
I am, it's so funny. I actually have worked for the secretary of the book, the love languages.
Yeah.
The 7 love.
Gary Chapman.
I have worked for his secretary. I painted her daughter's wedding. I was like, oh my gosh, like that was really fun. Yeah. So that was a really cool one I just did in the fall. But I am 100% a words of affirmation kind of gal. Yeah. And if you say great things, I like get bigger and happy and if you say bad things, I just go, oh my God, you're breaking my heart. Like I am very, emotional. I am an emotional kind of gal. Like I feel it all, but that is definitely, the reactions of people. And I wish that I could, be a little bit like give them eye contact when they say something so sweet and kind, but I'm so focused and I'm just like, thank you. Thank you. But like, I promise it means the world to me to get these affirmations. And I think, even when I was doing the pet portraits, I would get affirmation, but it wasn't people watching it live because it was in my studio. Mm-hmm. So this is like something I've never experienced. And at this point I've done 200 weddings. So I have seen it and I'm just like, I'm addicted to that. Like that is such a fun part. But then I just really do love the weddings and, I sit there and I get giggly when it's something that's like a real genuine, like they're speaking from their heart kind of vows, those kinds of things. I'm just always like, I will never get old. This will never get old. This will never just like in one ear out the other. It always is. I genuinely do love what I'm doing. It's I say, welcome to my office. Not a bad gig, right? And then everyone's always like, no, This is not a bad gig. This is really cool.
It is the best job in the world. It is the coolest job in the world. Oh my gosh. So much joy. Chris and I, well, he picks at me sometimes because he's a lawyer. And so I get to go off to weddings, which is the most joyful day in a person's life. And usually it's so joyful. Everyone's in a good mood. It's a party. There's music, booze. It's just a great time. Had by all. And he's like, I did a succession today. There's a divorce. It's always the worst day of somebody's life for him.
Isn't that?
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, that is so opposite different.
It is.
I didn't realize that for him. I mean, I knew he was a lawyer, but I didn't know what type. So,
oh, he does a lot of business and tax law, and that's all very fun for him. But he's a lawyer, so people come to him with seeking counsel, and he's such
yeah,
a good listener that he'll come home completely drained because he's just been like kind of intaking people's problems, and God puts people on this earth to be lawyers and to serve the community and to be that counsel and to receive all of that drama, because when we're in trouble, anyway, I could go on and on. I'm very proud of him, but yeah, it's a heavy load. But and then I'm over here coming in at 1 a.m. and I can't sleep, and I'm like, let me tell you, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Oh, okay, so let's talk about. We're gonna shift gears completely. You ready? Mm-hmm. Left field, motherhood. Oh my gosh, you're married, you have a wonderful husband, and then you have a daughter.
Yes.
And you're doing weddings at this time. You're working. Are you doing anything in the studio, or is it kind of exclusively just when you travel to work and then you come back and your mom? Like, what's that been like?
So I still do commissions and I still do pet portraits, but they're very few and far between. Almost everything I do is commission based. So there's very few projects that I do for myself, but it's just whatever comes is what I make. So if somebody asks me to paint live, I paint a wedding. If somebody asks me to paint a family portrait in the studio, then I'm doing that. So it's still trickling in. Okay, so 2021, I have my first my daughter Ellie. So this is like, okay, so if you're new to the wedding world, how COVID affected us was 2020 shut down, 2021 became insane.
Yeah.
Like, so did you have any children in 21?
I had a daughter in December of 2020. So I was pregnant all of 2020.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then I had my next one was in 2023. But I got pregnant, like you get pregnant and you have to consider a pregnancy too, and all that comes with that. So what was it like for you?
Okay, so you just had your child, you could very much relate to this. So 2021
I went back to work. I did a wedding 2 weeks after I had Charlotte. Yeah, I should have canceled that one, but I did it and survived.
Oh my gosh!
Insane. Can you imagine 2 weeks?
Well, no, I did 6 weeks, and that was not great. So okay, so she's a spring baby, so it was early spring, and it's slow January, February, but between March and the end of the year, I had 57 weddings that year, which that's the most I've ever done.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I ever, no, wait, I said 57. Oh, somewhere
with maternity leave though, right?
I'm sorry. It was 47. I got that number wrong. Okay.
Still
47.
That's a lot.
I will not do it again is what I'm saying. It is like, that is, to have all that going on with having a baby and postpartum, and then, tackling tasks that I've never even thought was possible with my business, to go from, this really slow pace with the collages and in my studio to being on the road in hotels, and a schedule that was like clustered together. Like you get this is spring and fall, and it's just insane. So I was not really getting much breaks in there, and I'm trying to learn how to do all things motherhood. So I won't do that again. And with this, I've done so much self-work, and I know people can probably hear some of these words come out and they're like, oh yeah, you've been in therapy. Not like that I'm sounding like I'm
cuckoo, just self-aware. You've learned more about yourself.
It's just these boundaries that come out, and it's like, you know what? Even though that was really great and I achieved a goal, but I'm not going to do that again because it was just not kind to myself. And I have, a different priority with my family and with my daughter. So, anyway, I really said to myself, I shared this a little bit when we were in Charleston, and I'll share a little bit more, but I was in that season of just did the craziest year of my life with my business, I was reading a book, and it was about this guy who had extreme success, and he was very, very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about it in our terms, we think about it like, are we going viral? Do we have the followers?
Sure.
We're full-time artists, and we're getting to do all these things. So I was relating to these things as he was saying about himself, and how he could walk into a room and never met a stranger, and how people were drawn to him because he had a fun personality, and he was light, and he was easily lovable. And then he was like, that version of myself is a different version that I take home. And when I get home and I am in the mundane and the difficult of life and with my wife and children, it doesn't feel pretty. And it is really hard. And so it was like those conversations that I would be like, I should have spent another hour talking to you. It was like he just couldn't go there because it wasn't an instant attack. Like it wasn't like an instant impression of, oh, you're just really talented. You're really great. Like that instant love, a quick love. And I really related to this. And I thought, my gosh, I walk into a room and people are wowed, and they're like, what, you're painting? You're so successful. This is, well, you're so talented. That's what they'd say. And then I related to that because it's like, but you didn't hear how I spoke to my family as I was walking out the door of like, sorry guys, I got to go, and it's really busy, and I'll see you later. And it's like, where are my priorities, and where's my energy? Where's my focus? And when I looked at my calendar, and I just thought, I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do that, especially from where I came from. And it's just this, like, I can't believe that I get to say I've done this. But then I had this zoomed out perspective of, I know I can, but I'm going to choose not to do it again because I want to show up for my family. I want to be present, that my daughter would say, Mom, you're the best mom, and I love you so much, and you're my best friend. Like, those things are words of affirmation that are deep and true and beautiful in comparison to like a superficial, like, oh, that was really beautiful painting that you just, I mean, maybe I'm not using the right word, but
I completely understand.
I just kind of had this reframe of whose affirmation do I want to hear more? Whose love do I want to receive more? Total strangers, or my sweet husband and my sweet daughter? Because in the end of the day, with this wedding stuff, it's see you guys later, but I don't see you later because you're the destination wedding, and I will never see you again. But I will see you on Instagram, like that kind of stuff. But with my family, they're day in and day out, and they can get the harder sides of the interpersonal relationship stuff. So and it's a daily thing that I'm still dealing with. Even just this morning, this relates to just even today. My husband and I would wake up, and my daughter comes in our room every single day, and she climbs up in our bed and she lays with me. And I'm always like, oh, this is so sweet. But let's get the day going. Let's start. Yeah. Let's start. And this morning I was laying there, and I was like preparing for this morning, and knowing what I had emotionally to like, okay, am I ready to share this? And I'm like ready. Like, I don't know about you, but when my brain wakes up, it is like the tasks start just like, Heather, you got to do this, this, this. And I started doing that to myself, and I was just like, nope, stop. Be present. And just totally absorb this little hug. And like, I just sat there, and then I was like, started just like looking at her, and I was just like, your profile is just so cute. Look at those little eyelashes and that little chin. And I just like, and then I get these tingly feelings. I was like, I'm so glad that I can have a thing I need to do and say to work, you're important, but just 1 minute, like just 1 second. Let me take this in with my family, because this is what I think in order of priority of importance. It's up there. It's like, keep the perspective of what is the most important thing in this world. Yeah. And a career is great, and followers are great, and friends are great. But this is a true gift that I get to be a mom And these days are so, so short. I know you talk about this a lot. Like this little season of toddler days, so short. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't talk about that too much because I've been like an emotional mess lately. Oh my gosh. All these hormones are surging. But that's so true. You mentioned, the ease and the welcomeness of like the compliments and the affirmation that you get when you're working. People are complimenting on your talent and your skill, and sometimes your beauty or your charisma. Like it's all wonderful to hear, and it's uplifting.
Yeah.
And it's easy to, I guess, seek that out, by taking more jobs. It's nice and encouraging to earn more money, to raise your prices or to book more weddings and see, your income is growing, and that's uplifting. And the work on the flip side, in order to get any sort of compliment or recognition or appreciation or affirmation or validation or any of those wonderful things that we seek as humans at home, you don't, it's not the same. And it's so much more work to be the mother or the wife or the partner or the support system, to clean up the house, to keep it tidy, to make sure everybody is feeling loved and feeling cared for, fed, clothed, rested, nurtured in their own ways. And a lot of that work and effort, it's so sacrificial. It's sacrificial love. And the compliments that we get, it is the hug or the act of them wanting to sit next to you on the couch, or as opposed to dad, because my girls always cling to their father, which is beautiful. But when one of them wants to sit by me, I'm like, she loves me, because they're not particularly, cuddly children, but all of those little acts of love, like validation and appreciation, I feel like you have to work so much harder for that at home. And so you talk about like eternal reward versus earthly reward. And it's hard to turn down jobs and to prioritize it's not just, oh, well, I just love my children and I want to spend more time with them. And it's an easy choice, because it's not an easy choice every time, when you have an open calendar and all of the things that you're turning down by blocking off dates or, restricting your calendar. Like that's a huge sacrifice. And when a person, whether it's a man or a woman who's married and having, has a family or growing their family, and they work in this business, whether it's live wedding painting specifically or the wedding industry, or they run their own business and they control their own schedule to a degree, making certain setting boundaries and making decisions that prioritize the family. Like, I just know that that's why it's hard, because you're not getting all of these validations that you're doing a good thing and you're talented and, the praise and everything, and it's lovely and it's wonderful and you're doing good work. Like, we're doing wonderful, beautiful work. We're using our gifts to enrich people's lives and give them a gift of fine art that they can keep forever. And by entertaining, we're welcoming people into this very vulnerable creative process. And it is, it's a beautiful thing. It's the best job in the world. But yeah, man, restricting your schedule so that you can spend more time with your family is challenging. But when you're able to do it, when you choose to do it, and then you can see the fruits from it. Oh, that's so rewarding.
It is rewarding.
So your schedule, what does your schedule look like now? How much time do you spend at weddings? How many do you take a year? Like, what's that look like?
I'm thinking 40 is going to be kind of the number that I don't want to go over. So this year I'm right under it. I'm like 37, something like that for this year. And it's hard. It really is hard when you have a little pocket where you could fit in a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel so tempted. But I've gone ahead for this there's a handful of weeks that I've just gone ahead and said, that's a prime weekend. I'm choosing not to work that. So And I go back to that story that I read in that book, and I'm like, I want to really prioritize my family. So this year, I think it's going to be a little less than 40. Now, what does a normal work day look like for me? For the first several years with Ellie, we had a full-time nanny. And that was, or it was either that with the church and the Parents Day Out program, or it was having a nanny in the home. We had a nanny for 2 years, and she was with us 3 days a week. And my gosh, I was unstoppable with the things I could knock out, like just like, whew, oh, that was great. And she was even helping with some of my social media reels, and it was really helpful. But we decided that, what does it look like if we take over and we split the week? So I get 3 fun days of play with Ellie. And then my husband gets 3 fun full days with Ellie while I work. And then the 7th day on Sunday, we have his family day and for God. So we've split up the calendar or the week like that. And that has been working really well since October. And I said to him, I was like, let's give it a try in my slower season, like November and December, January, February, and we'll see. And then if I need to like pick back up some help, and here it is all of a sudden in July, like I don't even know how the heck it's July already.
I know.
And we haven't switched gears yet. And so I don't know how long we'll keep this schedule that we have right now of like, I get 3 days of work. Now, to specify that, those 3 days include my days where I'm at weddings. So
yeah,
my 2 of those days are a Friday and a Saturday that I get for work day. Well, I just worked every Friday and Saturday for the last several weeks. So it's like, I don't get a lot of time to clean in a studio or like do studio work. So this is tough. That's a part of like, I know I've given myself like, hey, give me 6 to 8 weeks to turn around a painting, but I'm usually finished way sooner than that. So giving the expectation for more than I need so I can over deliver and not under promise. That's been really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. So with FASTONEs being thrown in there. So we started FASTONEs in 2024. And somebody gave us a challenge that was, hey, what if you did a week of dating your husband where you turn off all social media and any kind of distractions and you just have conversations? And all of a sudden I start talking about art because that's what's on my mind. And then we start talking about like, what if I ever did sell my skin tone? So I honestly, genuinely did not expect it to take off like it did. I thought in my mind, I had a number and it was 10 people. That's how many people were going to buy my paint. Like I thought it was going to be such a small number. And that's way past that. And so I have literally added to my plate another job that it's like, I mean, you can relate to this. You're doing full-time live wedding painting, and then you come up with the composed artist, and your blueprint. I mean, it's like that's like 3 jobs.
It's like, how do you do it?
How do you? Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, like, wait. That sounded like a really fun idea. I don't know if you can relate to this. I get really excited about ideas, but somebody needs to kind of like help me sift through them.
Yep. Does your husband do that for you? Because he's really good at reining it in.
Yes. There's an audio that's out right now on one of the I think it's Instagram. It's like, I do this and I do that. And I do this and I do that. And I just want to put a clip to all of it. It's like, I like to play with flowers. I like to paint. I like to work weddings. I like to mix paint. And he's like, all these things. It's like a total jumble of thoughts of like all the fun things in my mind. And then sometimes he's just like, what would be the purpose of this? Not that it's bad or good. Just like, let's just get analytical and data. Like he's like all about that. So, it's this one that he was like, yeah, this sounds great. I think we should do it. And so we started in March of 24. And I never expected for it to be a real big thing, but we went to a Pack Expo. It was a big one that was in our region in Atlanta. And this is like anything and everything you can think of that is packaging, from like tubes to machines that fill it and boxes that you ship it. I mean, it is everything from A to Z of how do you get a product, make it, package it, and ship it out. So we went there, and my goodness, it can get expensive. Like $500,000 is easy to buy one single machine to tube your product. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do it at a very fast speed when you get those kinds of machines. But we have found a source that was more affordable, that was more of like, okay, I think I can invest in that. And we have a machine for FASTONEs that is going to be in our little studio, and I'm going to be fulfilling the paint with a machine rather than hand doing this, because I've been doing all of this by hand. So this machine has not started up yet, and we've just had it for a few weeks, and we've got a learning curve ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
But my big goal with it would be to go into a production that I can make volumes. Like I can have like a whole lot more volume to this. And but this is a big investment. This is a big thing, like buying paint in gallons and mixing gallons at a time. And the hopper that this thing goes in is 5 gallons of paint. And so it's just going to be like, oh my gosh, did I just make 5 gallons of shade 1 to then like pump out all these tubes? And so, not sure when that's going to happen, because it's a slow start to this machine. Like, the cleanup of this machine is just going to be a huge process, to switch the colors. Because if I had a lotion line and it's all, this is the scent, this is the
just
kind.
One thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's
when you
easy.
have 6, right? When you have 6 and you have to like clean it out, and there can't be any contamination between the colors, because then it can change all that. So that's the process that we're in right now. But I'm very excited to say that there is a future for it to become higher volumes coming out sooner, because right now I'm selling out every other month. I put in a batch and I ship it out to Amazon, and then it sells out, and then it sits, and I'm like, okay, I got to scramble. It's been a really hard thing. Yeah, it's been a hard thing to balance that. Okay, what if I have 3 days of the week? What day am I going to be painting? What day am I going to be making paint? And what day am I going to be at a wedding? And then all that, like the back end stuff of taking calls and booking my next client and the consultation calls. So it's just a lot to manage within a 3-day period of time, which I'm not sure if it will stay 3 days, but right now that's what it is. And it's a lot.
Yeah, but you started it the correct way by, doing it yourself, and also like collecting data and seeing where the interest is and how much people are buying and how frequently they're buying. And the wonderful thing about this product is that it is, I don't want to say perishable, but usable. It's not something that you'll sell once and then that person has one and you don't have a repeat client. Like
they're return customers.
Yeah.
You know what's so interesting? And I've not shared this with Chloe, and I should, but so we have the conference in January.
Mm-hmm.
And
layover.
You guys, I let everybody test it out and do a workshop with it. It was a whole lot of fun, and I had half of the attendees purchase it. That is an incredible compliment. Like, I know Amazon is selling out. I don't know who they are, if they had art class, if they're professional, if they know how to do color theory. I don't know any of that. But here I am face to face with these artists. And I'm like, I've been following you for years. Oh my gosh, you have an incredible portfolio. And you just chose to invest in me. And I to sell to another professional, another portrait painter, and that they chose to invest in FASTONEs, I just can't get over that 50% just decided to invest in it. And I've even had some people after conference, and they were like, you ran out. You didn't have any more. I'm going to come back and I'm going to get some. And so they like did not purchase it at the conference, or they even came back for their second. Like, I'm ready to get my second set. Cause I carry 2 sets. I have one set in the studio and one set in my tote. But it's just such a compliment for your peers to acknowledge you and sign up for like your thing. Like, how does it feel for you when other artists that you know have been doing live painting for a good chunk of time and they have a lot of success and talent, and they say, okay, I'm signing up for your course?
That always surprises me when I see somebody sign up, because I only open enrollment for a short period of time. Right now, maybe one day I'll open it forever, but right now it's like there's 10 days. And when I see somebody's name pop up, I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to up the ante this year, because this person seems to be doing incredibly well. Like, what can they learn from me? But it always surprises me. But but it is an honor. Like, it's an honor whenever the community is so supportive in that way.
Yeah.
And I think the things that do well come from a generous heart. It's not necessarily somebody who's just trying to make a buck on their comrades. It's somebody who sees a need and is like, look here, this is here if you need it or want it. And I made it for you because I wish I would have had it 10 years ago. And just having integrity in any industry, obviously, and being generous of spirit works. And then I agree. Whenever I had a few people sign up for the Wedding Painter's Blueprint after layover, I think because I hosted a workshop as well, and I guess they were able to see what it would be like to learn. And your workshop, getting to see how you so thoroughly and enthusiastically talk about working with the skin tone mixtures, and then pushing temperature and mixing colors from scratch, and then seeing how fast you were able to achieve the same tone using this base mixture. It was incredible. Like, that was great. And then you have so much art teaching experience, so you really were able to help people understand and use the tool the way that it was made to be used, so that didn't surprise me at all that you sold out. That was fun. We need to go back to
I know.
layover.
I was an unexpected, like, overwhelming, just I had expectations that were great, but it went way beyond what I anticipated and expected.
It filled my cup, really, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, for sure.
Fellow entrepreneurs, listen up. Let's talk about protecting your business. We all know that having a solid contract is essential, but drafting them is daunting and can be very expensive. I'm an artist. I'm not a lawyer, for a reason. That's where the Legal Page comes in. The Legal Page offers attorney-drafted contract templates tailored for creatives and small business owners like you and me. Whether you're a photographer, an artist, a business coach, a designer, or an event planner, or what have you, they've got you covered. These templates are easy to customize and come with very clear instructions that include free future updates. That's huge. I was honored to be asked to review their live event artist contract, and it checks all the boxes for me. Don't leave your business vulnerable. Invest in peace of mind with the Legal Pages contract templates. So if you're ready to get your business legally legit, head to the show notes and click the link to save 10% off any product in the shop, or use my code StephanieG10. Again, get your business legally legit with a Legal Page contract today. So now we are 13 years and a day past the event, and you have a beautiful family, and you have a product that you are looking at growing exponentially. And Wedding Paintings, you found your groove with how many bookings and how busy you want to be in your schedule. You're still taking commissions occasionally, and you're prioritizing time with your daughter. It sounds like life is beautiful and good for you. Is there anything that you're still working on, or any kind of like little moments where I guess you have to utilize the skills you learned in therapy?
It's a great question. Mm-hmm. So I'm a journaler, and I always have been a journaler. Even like little middle school Heather, like, dear journal, I think I have a crush. I'd be like, this is like, I don't know. It's just a way to process. And I journaled through the entire experience of my trauma, and I chose to write a book. And it is 40 tools to overcoming anxiety after trauma.
Wow.
The name of the book is Scarred by Grace and Not by Fear, because somebody prayed over me that phrasing, let it be a scar of grace in your life and not a scar of fear. And I just thought, there's so many times in our lives where we have awful things happen, and it does leave a scar. It's not pretty. It's going to leave a mark. You're going to remember it for the rest of your life. But rather than reflecting on it of fear and letting that whole thing take over, let it be a scar of like, it's the grace of God that I am here, and it's the grace of God that I lived through it. So it took like 5 years to write the book, and I finished it in 2020. I actually even had a really cool opportunity with a very famous theologian, book writer, Christian writer. And he was like, I want to help you get this out there. But he actually, a very quick diagnosis of cancer, and he passed away within like weeks of that conversation.
Wow.
And the whole thing was like, I am not about to be like, but what about what you said? Like when I found this all out, I was like, okay. So I have all these tools, and sometimes I'll go back into my writings and I will read things, and I'm just like, I still feel that way. I still need that. And it's not just like a play-by-play of what happened, because I'm actually really careful with how I share that stuff, but it is, okay, how do you deal with heart palpitations and anxiety? Like people have anxiety for all sorts of reasons. Like it's something that can be applied to so many different people in all different stages of life.
Yeah.
Big T or little T trauma. And when 2020 happened, I thought, oh my gosh, like this whole thing is like everybody go be reclusive and stay inside and don't be around people. I'm like, I am a pro at that. Like you count me in. Like I know how to stay away from everyone.
That's my jam.
Yeah. So I definitely that was not great. So that was really hard. And so I had to go back into my book and do that, like breathing techniques when there was a lot of anxiety today, just even having this conversation. So doing my deep breathing and fasting from sugar or caffeine, because that stuff really does trigger anxiety in your body, and you feel those little jitters and you're like, oh, I'm in a sugar high. I'm like, yeah, but you could eat differently and then it affects you differently in your body. So those tools I use every day. Those are like just muscle memory almost.
Sure.
One of the things that, so I had this vision of God being the author of our lives. He's writing it out. He's written it out. He's the author. And I had this visual of, okay, that's what it's supposed to be. But instead of it like God with the writing pen, I had this visual of me with this massive, like ginormous ink pen. And I'm like writing like, this is Heather's story. And I had this visual of me, and I'm like, I need to put down the pen and let God be the author of my life and not Heather, the author of my life, because I so desperately tried to control everything from A to Z to make my life feel better. And I was no one could see God's story in my life because my scribbles were all over the plan, all over the blueprint of life. And that is really hard to be vulnerable and let those things like, I trust you. I believe that you can do something with this. This is a little note that I wrote down, which was, God has given me a story and maybe even an audience, maybe even our friends, that if I choose to show up and be vulnerable and let the world see the work that God is doing in my life, there may be a purpose to these things. So I have no idea if this book will ever go anywhere. Actually, I really have like absolutely zero energy to ever take it and do anything. I have let a couple of people read it that were going through some things. I'm just like, it's kind of rough, but just like, you can check it out. But I hope that one day that I can get this out there, because it is, 13 years of a journey. It's like what you say about the blueprint. And it's this course that's like, if I can put you on a track that gets you there faster, kind of eliminate some of those hardships of like, how do you do XYZ? That would be such a great honor to have a purpose to my suffering of like, I learned this lesson and I get to be a light in somebody else's life. Like that would be the greatest joy. There's nothing worse than to have survived all of this and it not have purpose.
Yeah.
Like that would just be totally vain. Like there has to be a reason that I am a survivor. And to figure that out and then to do something with that, it's just my life goal. And it's the public part of this that's so vulnerable. Like if you were in my everyday life, like all my friends know about this, and all my family knows about this. My nanny knows about this. I mean, it's like, it's something I do talk about, but never like, tap this mic, is this thing on kind of, no.
Yeah.
So I think I'm ready for this. And if I'm not, rip the Band-Aid off, kind of just do it. And so, to answer your question more, it's every day that I think about this. It's every day that I use these tools, and it's every day that I hope to find the purpose of why I lived through this and what's next, because we never know what is in God, like what's in the ballots for God's plans. Like what does he have in store for us? Because I would have never believed you if you'd said, Heather, in 13 years from this moment of when this happened, I'm going to be in public. I'm going to be in crowds. I'm going to be in loud spaces. I'm going to be in cities and states by myself and sleeping in hotel rooms by myself. I would be 100%. You're kidding me. No, never, ever. But it's just so cool that this is where I'm at and that the story didn't end there. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, do not get me wrong. Time does not heal all. That is like such a lie. It is do the hard work, fight that fight, suffer well, and like go at it with grit of just like, that happened, but that was a comma and not a period. Like I'm going to have more to my story than what that happened. Like it's just a piece. And here I am achieving goals literally left and right. I achieved a goal financially this last quarter that I cannot believe I'm here, and that this is real, and that this is like life. Like this is so great. This is so awesome, because I would have missed all of this if I crumbled and said, okay, I'm done, which is easy, absolutely easy to do. But I didn't. And I was just like, okay, just one day at a time, pick it up and just go at it.
What an incredible testimony. Oh my gosh. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for opening and pouring out your heart and your story for me and anyone who's listening. You wrote a book. I'd love to read it one day. This is the first time you're talking about this experience like publicly. And, so like maybe the promotion of the book, or like, taking your own, like you've been working on yourself for so long.
Yeah.
There will be a time, I'm certain of it, that you start taking steps forward to help other people, because you have gotten to a point to where you're like, okay, this is not like the work is done, check forever, but
right.
Like it's like stages, right?
Yeah. Right.
Maybe this is the start of that journey, because you told me this story months ago when we first started talking about it. and, life happened, and here we are today recording, which is wonderful. But when you told it to me, there was the story you told me and the story you told today here on the podcast were equally heavy with like emotion, of course, because you're reliving it as you're telling it, but also strength, because you feel strongly about each stage of the story, what, like the event that happened, but also every year, 2 years, 4 years, all of those milestones that happen to you, your story you have lived through, you've learned lessons from, just the strength in telling that story. I felt when you told it to me months ago, and then today as well. So like I certainly see God working through you in the future. And I mean, 40 tips for overcoming anxiety. That's a lot of tips. Like, do you want to share? I'm thinking of the listeners. I'm thinking of the men and women, the artists who listen to this podcast, who may have their own, they're on their own journeys through their own life experiences. Let's put it in like a perspective. Live wedding painting. You've talked about ways that you have regained control, in a very kind of loose environment, right? A creative environment. Give me like 2 or 3 tips for people who may be experiencing anxiety when they're working at a live wedding painting. Something that it's like, here's some actionable things moving forward. Hang tight for the rest of the 40 when I release my book. Kind of thing.
Okay. So I cannot say enough good stuff about breathing, like deep breathing, just actually getting oxygen into your body and deep lungs, not shallow. Like there's different parts of breath, like up in here, and then like in here, and then like deep breathing. That is something that's going to help reset really fast. And something that I do, like your 5 senses. You think about your 5 senses of what do you see, taste, touch, smell, and hear. If you can ground yourself in a moment, okay, anxiety could take you to a fear of like a what if, and you have now taken yourself, and for visual artists, we can see it in our head of like, well, not only did that fear come with a thought, but it came with a picture too.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So
You're right.
my husband said that to me. He said, Heather, do you see this in your head when you say that you're afraid this is going to happen? I'm like, I do. And then he's like, I think that's because you're an artist. And I'm like, it is. I picture things that aren't there. That's why I can draw you something amazing. It's like, because I've already seen it before it happens. And, okay. So because we have that superpower, so we need to like ground ourselves in our 5 senses, because if I can ground myself, like, what am I hearing? I hear the air conditioner above me. I hear my hair in my little earbud. I hear my voice. Okay. What do I see? I see Stephanie. I see my hands. What do I taste? My water. Like, I go through these things, and I'm like making this list. All of a sudden, my brain, rather than going up and out, is coming in. It's really, really helpful. Okay. Another one would be a container. So I think so many times when we have this idea of like out of sight, out of mind, you've thrown it away.
And we're afraid to do that.
Well, it's not that you need to throw it away, because those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, if they're true or even if they're not true, it's a big deal. You got to be kind to yourself, but to put them in a safe place. So I will tell to myself, like, okay, it's go mode. I need to be at a wedding. I may have just had something that was really upsetting, that was maybe in my personal life that's going on. And I need to like refocus. So then I say to those thoughts of like, okay, I give them containers, and sometimes they're symbolic containers. Like, if it's glass, if it's metal, if it's plastic, I give it what kind of shape. Like, I'm creating this container and I'm opening the lid. Sometimes I do this like I'm doing. I actually use my hands to open it. And I say to that thought, like, Heather, you are freaking out about this thought that you're afraid of something happening. Come on. get in there, like stop, get in there, and then put the lid on it and say, you're important and I will process you, but not right now. Because right now I got to go. I got to be a painter and work and show up. But I promise you, I will come back to you. I'm going to set you here in this shelf in my mind for another time. I'm not throwing you away. I will come back and I will visit you another time. So just telling myself those things of like, it's usually trauma that pops up. And I'm telling trauma, like, you're important and you did happen. And I promise I'll process it, but not right now. I'm at a birthday party, or not right now. I am hanging out with my daughter or something like that. And so it's like those interruptive thoughts that keep just like popping up and you can't shake it. I put it in those containers, and I have a shelf, and everybody's is in a different one and every color and everything. And, some are harder to open. And, it's really cool. And I really love that my husband is the one that started this. If he had a question about my trauma, he would ask permission. He'd say, can I have permission to open one of your containers? And I would say yes or no. I would do an internal check of like, do I feel like I could visit something hard? And then if I said yes, I'd be like, yeah, okay, you can open the trauma. And however that was, I mean, it's like those kinds of things were so important to have a tool. But it's not like big things of like cracking codes. It's like just simple little things that I was just, okay, that was simple, but man, that made sense. And I feel like I could move a little bit more forward. And I say this too, when we're in these really hard things in life and we feel like we're not going anywhere, but even just movement, just saying, okay, I'm going to think about you. That's movement. It may not be a lot of progress, but it is progress into a direction. We may have steps back and we may have steps forward, but just that process of moving and not being stuck is so important. So there was just somebody I was listening to on Instagram just this week, and they were sharing their heart, and it was filled with sorrow and heavy and all that. And I was so thankful that somebody could, open up and be real, because there's stressors in every career of life, every person with a career, without a career, just being a human, there's stressors. And I hope that these tools one day may reach somebody in a way that just takes the pressure off just a little bit, a little faster, a little sooner than them trying to find that journey on their own would be my goal.
Also seeing somebody so past the stage that they're in, it gives hope,
Yeah.
Like you are just, without even diving too deep into your story, you're like a living example of what moving forward could look like, what strength and hope and faith in yourself and faith in God's plan for you, what that could look like for you. Whether you've been through a trauma, you, the listener, whether you've been through a trauma, whether you're going through something now, whether you are just getting started and you're not confident that success will happen for you, look to the people around you and see what their lives look like now, but because of what they've gone through, because of how hard they've worked, the patience that has taken, a lot of us to get from A to B, whether it's a year of progress or 5 years or 10 years, a lot happens over the course of time, and with patience and determination and
hard work,
hard work. Yeah. Knowing your self-worth, knowing your worth, like in God's eyes, you're worth giving it another day and trying again and again and again. Heather, thank you. How do you feel?
I actually feel really good. Okay. And that's what's so freaking amazing. That's so amazing. I just am like, I really am like, Heather, you're a BA. You're a badass. I don't know if we want to say that, but I really I'm like, I did it. I back in January when we talked about this, I had to say, I'm sorry. I'm afraid if I talk about this in this season, it's just too much because it was a lot going on, and we had layover like right around the corner, and my husband was traveling, and all of a sudden January got busy, and I was just like, let's hold off. And then when you said this to me to do this for today, I looked at the calendar. I know good and well when 7/20 rolls around, I'm like, that day, those numbers, they scream at me. And to do this on 7/21, it's like, okay.
Wow.
And then this last week, I just sat and I'm like, it's coming. How am I feeling? Doing a check. I feel okay. Haven't had any heart palpitations. I haven't had any anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, it's so cool. Is I don't know which side it's on. My little bouquet that's over here. For the last several years, to visit that date and to like go through it, I create a bouquet. And I go to Trader Joe's or the grocery store, and I'm like, colorful, pretty. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then I spend this time putting this bouquet together of a way of just doing something that's happy and positive, but also like, it's okay. You can have something fun on this day, and it can still be beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can, and I've shown up in different ways over the years on this day, and it's looked different, but I invited it into the room with me today. I was like, you can be present right here. So I don't know. I'm actually done a lot better with sharing this than I would have ever imagined.
You told the story like you were a legendary TED talker. Like you've told this story a million times. It was so heartfelt and authentic. And I'm kind of glad you told it to me months ago so that I knew what was coming in a way, because I probably would have been a big old snotty mess.
Right. I'm actually, and I was really intentional about that too, because when I tell somebody these things, they're always like, I'm at a loss of words. Like, what do you say? Like, what do you do?
Yeah. It's a lot to process.
And it is. So and also, I just wanted to see what kind of listener you'd be.
It was a test.
Yeah, I was like, okay, if I ever shared this, what would this be like? And so that's just a bit of like my own testing the waters for myself.
Sure.
Like
Understood. Well, I'm glad I passed the test.
Yes. A+.
Where can people follow you online, see your beautiful work? And then also, where can people find and purchase FASTONEs and get on like subscribe every month?
Yes. So my handle is Heather Wolfe Art. It's Heather_Wolfe Art. And that's the same on all social medias, TikTok and Instagram.
And Wolf has an E, you guys.
Yeah. Wolfie. Yes.
Oh, wait, I did want to say real quick, I'm going to interrupt you. You and your dad went on a plein air painting adventure, and I was like so envious of that kind of experience, that your family is so artistic. So that was really fun to see, because I'm the only one in my family, and I yearn I yearn for the companionship like within the family. I think that is so beautiful and special. So it was really sweet to see your work and y'all working side by side. And you do share things like that on your Instagram accounts. Just the beautiful things that you're creating, and you tell beautiful stories on the wedding day. I love how you gather water from a source on location at the wedding, and you kind of make that a part of the process. I think that is so sweet and special. Anyway, continue. Yeah. Heather Wolfe everywhere.
Yes. And then my website is heatherwolfeart.com. For FASTONEs, it's fastonepro.com. And I do have a Fastone Pro Instagram. You can buy that through my website. Even international. We're now doing international shipping. You do have to purchase that through my website versus Amazon. There's just some restrictions to that. So you can get it through Amazon as well.
That's amazing. Please go and grab some Fastone paints. And it's Fastone, Fastone.
Yes. So it's like a double name. It could be Fast One or Fastone. You can say it different ways. You can have it different meanings, but it's just making you a fast painter.
Yep. Giving you confidence. Yeah. I love it. Heather, thank you so much for coming hang out with me today. This is This is going to be a 2-parter, I can tell. So
Yeah.
people will be able to listen to this over the course of 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what you create next, where your journey goes, how you grow FASTONEs.
Thank you.
You're such a joy, and you're such a good friend. Thank you for being here. This was fun.
I feel the same about you. You've been such a dear friend, and beyond thankful for just how genuine and sweet. And you're just very easy to love. You're very easy to be in community with, and I am blessed to have been here. So thank you very, very much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on this journey of artistic exploration, entrepreneurial growth, and personal development. Remember, you have the power to create a life that is both fulfilled and balanced. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please subscribe to The Composed Artist on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a review. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more creatives like you. Until next time, keep creating, keep dreaming, and keep pursuing that composed life. You got this.